What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to Tangent Podcast.
Tangent.
Today we're gonna be talking about racism, what we think it means, our own experiences with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a heavier topic because of the weight of the world right now, but we're gonna try to keep it light and just kind of, tell some stories and like how it has affected us or whatever.
It's weird, cause like, I don't know, I always had a different idea of racism from what it actually was. My idea of racism growing up was like blatant, like hate and like fuck you, N-word, and like Confederate flags. But then I went to Mahar, and the first day I came, he was like, "What up, my nigga?" The first day I came, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
So just a little perspective, we went to a really like rural, I don't want to say hick-ish, but it was school in like a really small part of like western Massachusetts. And before he came to the school, I was like the token black kid. So just imagine like every racist cartoon or like anything you could ever imagine that like everybody consumed when they're growing up, and like every caricature of like a black person in like any movie or cartoon, like that's how these people genuinely thought of black people, because they were not like, they'd never had any experience with black people outside of us, like in their lives, because there were just none in the town that we went to school.
Yeah, I mean, how else would you know if you'd never like pet a dog, if you never like knew a dog, seen a dog, and all you saw of dogs was that they were like angry and aggressive and like they barked a lot? Like, how else would you know?
Right, of course.
Experience.
They're gonna be scared of dogs because that's the only way that they're being portrayed to you. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was crazy. Like, I've actually, it's like, now that my friends, like our friends from high school, have ventured off into college and have started to kind of spread out across the world a little bit, I've been getting like messages like, after like 6 months of not even talking to the kid, just like apologizes out of the blue and is like, "Man, I'm so woke now and I feel so bad, for all the microaggressions that I had towards you in high school and all that stuff." And the thing is like, it didn't affect me while I was living it because I thought that we were just joking and I didn't understand. Yeah, I'm black and these are jokes you make about me, and you're fat and those are jokes we make about you, and you're gay and those are jokes we make about you, and it wasn't a thing. It was that's just how we thought it was acceptable to just like joke. We didn't think about how like detrimental what we were doing and saying actually was.
Yeah, it was like that edgy humor is like perpetuating hate.
Right.
And like making it.
And the thing is like there's a fine line. I mean, I still even to this day think that like, a darker sense of humor is like a funny thing to have. But we personally have somebody really close to us who doesn't quite understand that there's a time and a place. So he'll say really outlandish, really like racially insensitive things at really bad times. And now obviously there's no good time, but like if you can imagine the opposite of a good time, that's exactly when he would say it. You have to be careful what you allow your friends to say or do, because in a way like you could honestly be putting them in danger.
If someone outside just doesn't have that context of what they mean to you.
But the thing is like the whole like idea of like the black card, like that doesn't exist. I can't give somebody my experience, so therefore I could not give them the ability to speak on the things that I've gone through. And that's kind of why even on this podcast we're only talking about our own experiences, because we don't speak for black people or like people of color at all. We just speak our truths and what we've personally gone through.
Throughout high school there would be like a bunch of kids that would like, as their blatant racism as like jokes, and there would be who would just come up to me in the middle of the hallway and he'd be like,
"Hey, what's up, nigger?"
All the time. Me too, all the time.
He just knew I wouldn't do anything, and he would laugh after to make it seem like a joke. But
I remember one time with him, particularly in gym class, it was one of those weird like gym periods where like half the class is supposed to go outside and half the class is supposed to stay inside, but it was like a downpour that day or something, so we all stayed inside, and it was just like a free-for-all run around the gym type thing, and the teachers obviously just sat on their laptops. And I remember like it just finally clicked with me that like what was happening wasn't okay. I think we watched 12 Years a Slave or something like that day in class, and like I was really like affected by it, and it like really touched me. And then we went to gym class, and he came up to me and he was just like jokingly like whipping my back, and he was just like, "Oh,
pick that cotton, little N-word,"
and like all this stuff. And I was just like, that's like really not funny actually at all. Like it's just like, it's genuinely not even like there's no cleverness to it, there's no wit. You're literally just being racist and then laughing after it and expecting me to laugh. Called him out, and I got really upset about it.
yeah, I mean, I'm just not the type of person to like, like I believe in karma or whatever, and that nigga's like trying to make a sports podcast, 5 viewers. Like, he's getting what he deserves.
Hey man, they sold 13 shirts out of their last merch drop. That's not bad.
I just don't think karma is like ours to handle.
I was talking to him one day and he was just like being super racist. Like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, whip those heads like my grandfather whipped your grandfather. It was something absurdly just nonsensical, and just like I ended up, because he's Native American, I ended up calling him Pocahontas. And he got like absurdly mad about it. Bro, you do that to me every single day. For once, now you're understanding like what you put us through every single day.
So clearly he just doesn't feel comfortable with his own racial identity, just perpetuated that onto us.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, I wasn't even comfortable with my racial identity. I was like...
I think every black kid growing up in like white towns feels that way at some point, because I felt that way. I know Bruce probably felt that way.
Oh, he definitely did. I know he definitely did.
Just like that.
So I was adopted when I was 11 months old, but I moved in with my family when I was 5 months old, so they were like all I've ever known. I lived with them for 18 years, and they were just all white. Like one time I was in front of my preschool class, and my preschool teacher, my mom's best friend at the time, she took a brown marker and she scribbled on her skin, like the top of her arm, like right here. She scribbled on it, and then she was just like,
"Oh, look, everybody, I'm just like Tyrese."
And I was like,
I'm 4.
And then she went over to the sink and she was like, "Look what I can do." And she scrubbed off the brown. And then she's like,
"But you can't do that."
and then I was like,
Yeah, I can't.
I went home that day, I took like a 7-hour bath and just scrubbed my skin until it was completely raw. And I literally just like cried to my mom, and I was just like, well, I want to come off.
But ignorant people just don't even realize what they're doing. Ignorant people just don't understand. It's still not okay to be ignorant.
Right. No, yeah, no, I get that. I think I saw this thing, Elon Musk obviously created Tesla, owns Tesla, worth, $50 billion. It's better to shoot for C's in school and have more time outside of school to learn like high income skills and things that are going to make a difference and discover your passion and pursue that than it is to take those extra 2 or 3 hours a day doing homework and striving for the A+, that in the end is not going to make any difference anyways. And that's kind of the approach I took. And I was taking that approach way before I even heard it, because I was just like, this isn't going to matter. Like, I just would have had less time to do what I loved in high school and to work on my craft.
Maybe it would have changed it. Maybe you would have been like a worse drummer or something.
Oh yeah, no, I for sure would have. I would probably have the same exact knowledge that I have right now academically. I would just be worse at what I care about, because I would have taken time away from my passions to pursue these other whatever. Like, there were some classes that don't get me wrong, there were some classes that I took, and I mean probably you too, that like had a profound impact on my life. For instance, and I literally don't remember anything we learned in this class at all, but I loved hanging out with you and Miss Cirillo in that history class.
I didn't learn anything in that
Not
class.
anything. We sat in the back on our phones, sitting on the desks, and she would just talk to the people who cared about learning whatever she was talking about, and you and I would just sit on our phones and talk to her and have a good time and joke and laugh, and just
I think
she was awesome.
A good sense of like someone working hard in school doesn't reflect like their intelligence. Like,
Right.
I had no business getting a B in that class.
Right. No, literally she gave me I got a 99 in that class. I got like literally a 99 in the class. I didn't do an assignment. I just sat in the back and listen, I don't want to get her in trouble or whatever, but because honestly, not many teachers have taught me as much. She taught me so much, like between me coming to her class after school, just sitting and eating mints and just talking to her or doing whatever. Like, I learned so much by just hanging out with her as a person. She was just a wealth of knowledge on real meaningful life stuff.
That's the thing, like with her and Speak, is like they had so much to offer for knowledge as human beings.
Right.
Speak, even a good English teacher. I don't remember shit from his class either. I just remember like him being like a really interesting person, and I hated him, but like
I just remember him emailing my mom telling her that all I do every day in class is sit in the back on my Chromebook because my last name starts with a Y, and I literally just message people on Facebook and play Bubble Shooter. So, but at the end of the day, it seems like they reward based on potential and not like actually like a written product. And they're just like, you're gonna be successful.
I mean, yeah, I feel like they don't want to be the person that ruins someone. You can ruin someone's potential by making them fail in high school.
Right. And that's the thing. You'll get a couple great teachers that just like really can see like your worth without even having to like give you an exam or anything. They just know that you're destined for more than what you're doing.
Good teachers are like top-notch people.
It is ludicrous.
That's how you know, like, you have to have integrity or really be down bad to be a teacher. One of the two.
The thing about that is like running a Taco Bell takes almost no effort. I was making double and in some cases triple what my teachers were making in high school, having gone and got master's degrees, and they have $150,000 in student loan debt and all this stuff. And it's just like, and my job was to tell somebody how to fold a burrito, and yet I was able to, in the materialistic way, live a more fulfilling life than them because of the work that they put in, which really sucks, and it makes me want to give back. But race.
Yeah, I don't know. How did we get here?
Cool, we went on a tangent.
Oh, yeah.